Well, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, March 27th, 2025. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. I know it's been a while since I've taken the time to make a podcast, but we've had a lot going on. Currently, we're in the process of starting an operating company in Oklahoma, looking at wells up there to apply the xHRC platform to, and whether they be oil or gas wells, and working with another operator to partner up on some of these deals. Uh, Besides that, we have also formed a partnership with a patented nanobubble generator. Ooh, that seems to be all the hype in the oil and gas right now, which it seems to look pretty good, and I think it's going to pair pretty well with the xHRC chemistry. We've got some bench tests we've accomplished, and results are looking pretty fabulous right now. And we're just going to take our time moving forward with that, making sure that we are dotting the I's and crossing the T's. That being said, I want to get down to business and talk to you guys really about. I've tried over and over again to talk about the xHRC and trying to get you guys to understand that I'm not full of shit. The chemical's not full of shit. When I come to you guys, whether it be over the air, on the phone, email, podcast, what have you, I have to be able to look you in the eye, tell you the truth, and I have to back it with lab data backed by field data. If I don't do that, I'm doing you a disservice, and I'm taking a chance on ruining 30 years in this career by being a snake oil salesman. That's not who I am. So I'm just going to get right to the point. I've typed this up. I've rewritten it several times. I'm just going to read. Yeah, I'm going to read. I'm going to read a story I've written about kind of what we've been through with the xHRC and the oil field, and what we've accomplished and where we're heading. So I'm going to start out with chapter one, the hard road to xHRC in Gaines County. Folks, there's deals in this life you walk away from. Head high, boots clean, no regrets. Then there's the ones you plant your flag on, stake your name to, and fight for till the last breath. xHRC, that's the latter. And I reckon it's time I told you why. I've been in this game 31 years, longer than some of you have been drawing air. Upstream, midstream, chemical service, I've seen it all. From the Eagleford Shale to the Permian sprawl, I've run wireline till my hands bled, built chemical programs that make chemists weep, and stared down corrosion in stripper wells so tired they barely whispered a barrel. I've watched fads blow through like tumbleweeds. Snake oil peddlers with their shiny pitches, good men betting their last dime on potions that fizzled out faster than a wet firecracker. 15 years back, something shifted. I stumbled on a chemical platform that didn't strut or holler, just got to work, quiet as a shadow. Lab tests perked my ears. Field runs turned me believer. This wasn't no half-baked tweet or sugar pill promise. We were pulling oil from zones that big shots had long since left for dead. We took it to the wells, one by one, slow and steady. Changed how oil moved through the rock like a river finding a new bend. Wettability flipped. Flow paths open, phase trapping vanished. And wells that should have been plugged and forgotten, they kept breathing, kept giving. Then came Gaines County. San Andreas Formation, tough as a rattlesnake's hide. We dosed xHRC at a lean 300 ppm to GPT in the frac fluid. Ain't no higher falutin science fair nonsense. Just a whisper of a mix. Oil showed up day one like it'd been waiting for us. Production roared past the offsets. 250% more oil, 450% more gas. Fluids ran clean, water split off like a dream. Corrosion faded like a bad memory. We tracked it 120 days and that line never dipped. That's when I knew this ain't just chemistry. This is a reckoning for how we pull back gold from the earth. Now, I ain't blind to the doubters. Hell, I welcome 'em. Skeptics sharpen a man's steel, and we've earned our scars proving this out. Core Lab put xHRC under the microscope. 182% jump in permeability, 77% faster recovery. That ain't a billboard slogan. That's rock to fluid truth. Carved out in a lab that don't lie. Means oil moves quick, easy, clean. Straight from the stone to the pipe. Contact angle test showed weldability shifting, water wet, sucking oil like a sponge in reverse. Capillary pressure dropping to damn near nothing. Simple as this. The rock don't want to hold that oil no more. But numbers in the lab don't mean squat unless they hold up in the dirt. So let's ride out. Eagleford. Frac kit. Steel climb tire. San Andreas, Gaines County. 4 wells, 300 ppm, 2 GPT. Yeah, it was 2 GPT on the first well, 1.5 on the second, and 1 on the last two. So the big difference we did see is the 2 GPT brought the most increase in oil. The lower cuts brought the most increase in gas. But so San Andreas, Gaines County, 250% oil, 450% gas, right there in the flesh. XTO, they might not want to talk about this. They might try to hide it, but data's data. We treated 4 wells for them. They replied that they didn't see a big enough shift, but the state records for those wells tell a different story. XTO ADU wells, 325% more oil, 1,300% more gas, like striking a vein of thunder. And if I recall correctly, I think we were 133% increase in the water drive as well. So if you're evaluating for a frac, you want to move the water on the front side, not the back side. Ball Ranch, Vicksburg, Canyon Sands. What else are we talking about? Oh, Wilcox. We're outpacing offsets with less juice and bigger hauls. Across 30 plus formations, xHRC's averaged 104.9% more oil, 753.8% more gas, 64% cleaner water. That ain't luck. That's a pattern cut in stone. Now let's talk dollars, because this ain't just poetry. Say you got 10 old wells limping along 5 barrels a day. xHRC could double that. 50 barrels extra, $70 a pop. That's $105,000 a month, cash in hand from wells you already own. Ain't counting the savings on chemicals, corrosion fixes, hauling off water yet. Scale that to field, and you're looking at a whole new game. Now let's move on to Chapter 3, Rising from the Ashes. So then came the last 5 years. COVID, inflation, a government hell-bent on burying American oil under red tape and scorn. In 2020, EOG saw the light, signed up for a 3-well frac pilot program in the Eagleford. Just 10 days of Gaines County flowback data they wanted to see. Didn't even wait for the full 120. That's how damn good it looked. Then the COVID shutdown came, and we all know what happened after that. It was like a ghost town in West Texas. Doors were swinging, winds were blowing, and nobody's to be found. So Biden's EPA came down like a hammer. Permits dried up, Wall Street turned tail with the banks in tow. Private equity scattered, blacklist bloomed, and good operators, folks with solid wells and an honest gift, got left twisting. Boom to bust, just like that. Over 600 oil field outfits have folded since 2020. Graves dotting the landscape. Us that made it through, we clawed with calluses, faith, and a fire for this trade no bureaucrat can snuff. I hung on because I've lived xHRC. 15 years of data, test, field wins, not a hunch, not a hope, but a hard-earned truth. I don't spin yarns to close a deal. I don't want your handshake today and your curse tomorrow. I want you back in 6 months, grinning, saying, hell, that was the best call I ever made. I've bet my own coin, bought my own wells, built an outfit in Oklahoma, got another rising in Texas. We're taking off-spec oil, scrubbing it clean with our own brew, and patented nanobubble rig. Yeah, nanobubbles. We're juicing xHRC with them, and it's already leaving traditional chemistry in the dust. If we can be 56% better oil recovery than the car company in lab runs, what can we do with the nanobubbles? Picture it, 182% permeability, 77% pasture flow, 100% production hikes. Now, hitch it to the nanobubbles' own proven kick. What can we accomplish? That ain't a pipe dream. That's here. It's now. Real as the dirt I'm standing on in the shop. So, together, we've all walked through the fire, COVID, regulators, the whole damn abyss. We came out scarred, but we're standing, holding a fix on this industry it's crying for. Here's the line in the sand. You ready to quit patching leaks and start pulling profit? Because I got the proof, the vision, and the will to see it through. All I need is you to step up and ride with me. Guys, I don't know how to put it any plainer than that. I mean, I know it's kind of over the top, Hollywood-esque, whatever, but I've got to tell a story. I've got to tell you guys a story about how we are our own worst enemies. I'm my own worst enemy. We see things that look good, but we've been conditioned by society. We've been conditioned by the news. We've been conditioned by the politicians to not believe it. Why can't we believe it? What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of when there's science to back it? Are you afraid that, somebody in the C-suite's getting a hand job from a sales lady at Baker or Champion X? I mean, if that's the case, just say it. Don't waste my time. Don't waste yours. But if that's the case and you know of it, you have a fiduciary responsibility to let somebody know. I mean, this used to be the last good old boy network, but I think since 2009 and the shell boom that Wall Street's moved in, and it's no longer the good old boy network. I think it's cocaines and hookers going on when we're out in the field working. It reminds me probably instead of the wolf of Wall Street, it's the wolf of the oil field. But, I don't want to get negative. The bottom line is, guys, is when I talk to you about xHRC, it's not bullshit. I'm a skeptic. I'm not going to lie. When this first chemical dropped in my lap, they told me, "Oh, it'll completely knock out H2S." I put it on a well to test it. It didn't completely knock out H2S. I mean, it did, but it didn't. If the well spit up a bunch of water, we had 0 H2S. If the well made half the water, we had 2,500 parts per million H2S. If the well made no water, we had 5,000 parts H2S. But the one thing I found in this field test that I started with this back in 2010 was, guys, we didn't hot hole for 2 weeks. These wells were having to be hot holed every 3 to 5 days, even with paraffin inhibitor on them. Completely knocked out the paraffin. That was the light bulb moment for me. I took this chemistry and I started putting it in my paraffin inhibitors. And those of you that do know and are friends with me and know the history, at one point, Finance Chemical Technologies, my prior company, we were treating over 2 million BOE per month in the South Texas Eagle Ford region. That's nothing to snooze at for a small company started in 2007. But because of this chemistry, I was able to improve the standard chemistries that I'd already had on the shelf, and we were purchasing through toll blenders to make the difference. The problem was our chemistry wasn't cheap. We didn't water down chemistry. We didn't do a fly-by-night chemistry. I got asked by Kevin Riley of Riley Exploration why EOG had 3 or 4 chemical tanks sitting on their location and he only had 2. Like, well, Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. They're treating corrosion, they're treating scale, they're treating paraffin, and they're treating H2S. Well, how come we don't have to do that? Because I have better chemistry. And the other thing that burned me up during the Eagle Ford boom, and every chemical company did it except for me. If there's somebody else that didn't do it, I apologize to you if I offend you. But if you have an oil wet system and you've got a little bit of CO2, a little bit of H2S, and you're making water, that does not create carbonic acid. There is no reason for a scale inhibitor. And I will tell you today that it was probably a business mistake on my part. I probably should have taken that $5,000 or $6,000 a month worth of corrosion inhibitor cells that they really needed that they didn't, and put that in a separate savings account. And I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. I'd be sitting on an island having a Mai Tai right now at 6 o'clock in the morning, or firing up the motors to go chase some blue marlin somewhere. But God had different plans, and that's not how it worked out. So I'm not going to come to you and lie to you. I'm not going to tell you need to give me your business. I'm just going to ask you for the opportunity. And don't come with me with one well here, one well there. Let's get serious about this. You want to see if this really works or not? I want to see if it really works or not. I mean, I've got 30 different formations. You've heard it right here. Where are we going back here? Let me put my glasses on, because I know nobody wants to listen to this very much longer. 30 formations. xHRCs average 104.9% more oil, 753.8 more in gas, 64% more water. That ain't luck. That's a pattern cut in stone. And when you take back and you look at the lab analysis, Core Lab, Assure Labs, Interface Fluidics, Texas A&M, all these labs that have run tests and tested contact angles, IFT, micro network penetration, oil recovery. If we're outperforming the car company by 56% in the lab, I dare that car company to come bring me data and show me head to head where they've done better than this. And another thing that I find quite interesting, you ask for it, I will share the interface fluidics testing. Nissan has had their said the name. The car company has had their chemical tested there. Anybody seen that data? You got to ask yourself, why haven't they shared the data from interface fluidics? And, with the introduction of these nanobubbles, I know I'm going to piss some people off, but we are partnered with a nanobubble generator company that has been in business for a very long time, have patents here in the U.S. and overseas for a very long time. It is not a membrane filter. It is not a electrochemically activated nanobubble generator. There's none of that. But these guys are partners, and we are going to test and test and test until I see it conclusively on my bench test, and then we'll go to the labs, and then we'll start doing field stuff. At the new buzz in oil field is nanobubbles, but gentlemen, what we have is the creme de la creme. I'd hate to sound like Slumberjay or SLB with creme de la creme, but let's be honest. You only succeed if you shoot for the best, and I think too many of us are settling for the rest. Good day.